undeniable. They live red, and I have yet to find it. Like a fuse within my veins. Renegade this jam ringing in my ears, I'm wasted off the sound. I try to sober up, but I'm addicted now. My drive to carry on, it's barely holding on. But this narcotic I will never forfeit. Holding these jagged crystals, I'm desperate, but there's nowhere I can go. And it's not like a gift. Well, the flight fantasy, cause of it. So proud my story, sense and focus, possibly.
And today's anime corner series episode I would like to talk about is the anime series about evil. The Saga of Tanya the Evil. Anyway, so this series is really, really, really good. But before I talk about it, let me tell you the description. A little girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, and porcelain skin fights on the front lines of a brutal war set in the fantasy world. What others don't know is that she's a reincarnated Japanese officer worker who is had a ruthless desire to climb to the corporate ladder in hopes of retiring in a cushy corner office. So, that is the description on the back of this. What this series is it is the most ruthless, most horrific, beautifully drawn animation I have ever seen in a war depicting anime. Now they say it's in a fantasy world. It really looks like it's depicting the battles of World War I before we moved into World War II. And that grimy war feeling of World War I, where it was the fog of war, the chaos, the bloodshed. Like every war, yes, there's blood and chaos and all that stuff, but the way they depicted the battles in this anime series, it really is dark, and I really enjoy it. Now, when I first came across this anime, I was I was 50-50. One being, I'm all for war type theme animes, depicting war, or some type of battles, or historical accuracy when it comes to history. I'm all for that. But what I'm not all for is if the storyline doesn't really make sense and the character development's not there. So I it's a 50-50. But on this one, when I saw the cover, I was like, so she's a girl who's apparently in the German army. So I was like, alright, it looks interesting. Little did I know once I picked it up and started watching it, you find out that Tanya, she may look like a beautiful girl, but she is ruthless. She is the most heinous, sadistic, monstrous, war-fueled person ever. She gets off with bloodshed, and killing her enemies. The story basically, there's a war between two fronts, the Eastern Front and the Western Front. They don't really say that, but there's two fronts. And battles are, raging on. The war has been going on for centuries. And somehow one side gets the upper hand with new abilities, and the other side gets the upper hand with the same abilities to counteract. Tanya, on the other hand, goes through the ranks from entering boot camp all the way to commanding lieutenant general, and ends up taking a squad and eliminating all the battles, literally just ending all battles and wars and trying to end the war from the first episode. So you think, okay, that's cool. But as it progresses, you start to see the history behind her life. She was never a normal person. She was an orphan, and she was bestowed a magical ability of floating and harnessing magical powers. And so she was able to move into the ranks of the magical squad and become the captain, the lieutenant of the squad, and lead a squad of magical beings into battle and to deplete the enemy's resources and, win the war for their country or their side. It's really, really good. The artwork, the music, hands down. I mean, it's really, really heart adrenaline pumping racing anime. So it's really good. Some of the scenes though are just kind of out there. I mean, she's aiming at an enemy who's pretty much surrendering, and the sadistic type of mindset she has, she basically puts the gun to his head and says, "There's no God to protect you," and just freaking blows him apart. Even though he surrendered, there's no surrender for her. I mean, it's die or be killed. She's sadistic. She's ruthless. It is, it's crazy, But she has a split personality where she's calm and content and nice and polite girl, but then her cruel and war style split personality comes out, and she just becomes a ruthless monster. And she just becomes crazy, blood crazy, war crazy. And she starts to really enjoy killing and enjoy war and enjoy seeing, families and buildings and everything just burning. And she's smiling. It's very sadistic and twisted, and which I really like. I've seen that in a countless amount of different animes. To list, Full Metal Alchemist is one. Another one is it was the War of 1717. It wasn't really an animated series, but it was animated, short depicting World War One, and I saw that. I saw some of the characters that had that type of, sadistic traits to them. So, but yes, I'm very happy to have this in my collection. I really enjoyed it. I must say, hands down, I was I made the right decision. Because it really did add into my collection, and it really did fuel my my passion and my passion and my hobbies for anime and the love of history, especially war, and the concept of the morality and the psychology of dealing with war and coming back from horrible sights, and then to just go right back into it, because it sort of is like a PTSD thing where you've been in conflicts, you come back to civilization, but yet you just can't grasp the civilian sector anymore. You're always having these flashbacks of the horrors and the moments of being in combat, and so you can't escape that. And that's what I see when I watch this anime, is I see this girl. She doesn't want to be a civilian. She doesn't want the war to end. In her head, she wants to cleanse the whole entire nation of enemies and just keep conquering the world. Sort of like what Hitler wanted to do. He wanted to conquer all of Europe. He wanted, if he couldn't have gotten Russia, he probably would have. But luckily we stepped in, and Russia helped us, and we don't have Hitler anymore. But when I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing that portray of the conquering and the madman and the sadistic ways of achieving something, because of the PTSD she has, she can't escape her false sense of reality, because she's always in that war setting. So it's one of those type of animes where it has to do with a lot of character development and watching the character develop that sickness, and to rationalize and to either accept or deny that sickness, so yeah. But yes, it is this anime. You can find it on Fun Animation. You can also find it on Crunchyroll. And I believe yes, you can. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like a news anchor. Yes. I'm hearing reports. Yes, you can also watch it on Netflix. It is a 22 episode anime series. Each episode, it ranges from 35 I think it's 35 to 40 minutes long episodes, so they're pretty long, and decent enough to keep your interest. But yeah, it's worth checking out. It's worth watching. If you're into that war type of anime, you're into good character development, you're into ruthless characters, as the hero, even though ruthless characters would be villains, but as a hero, yeah, it's worth checking out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. Some of the abilities that she has, she's able to have this force shield. She's able to have, some of her teammates have these abilities where they're able to float or fly through the sky, using like jetpacks on their feet or their chests, or chest rigs. They have like these jetpacks that make them float over the skies, and they have these magic abilities where they can create shields or barriers to deflect enemy weapons, bullets, missiles, attacks. And Tanya's ability, she's able to harness the ability by asking God, denounce God that she created in her own head, to give her the sadistic power to wipe her enemy completely off the face of the earth. She has this ability to harness this like Super Saiyan power where she goes into almighty God mode, and one single bullet will just wipe you out like an atom bomb. And she uses a phrase. She uses like the same like casting phrase, and it's like a calling card, you know. And I think that's pretty cool. I do. I don't know about you guys, but I find little things fascinating. Sorry, it's my throat. But yes, there's some some of the generals in the headquarters. You know, they don't really they have personality, but they don't really have they didn't really spark my interest. Tanya was maybe like 1 out of 5 characters that I actually enjoyed watching and developing throughout the series. So yeah. But even her own generals, they start to realize that, you know, she's getting out of hand. You know, she's going way past, you know, the laws of war, you know, by, you know, denouncing, you know, the art of surrendering, you know, Geneva Convention. You know, she's just wiped that away. Like, fuck you, I'm not gonna let you surrender. I'm gonna kill you. You know, white flag means nothing. You know, hands up, I surrender. Put my guns down, I surrender means nothing. She's sadistic. The generals, you know, they start to try to stop her because they can see that she's becoming a tyrant. She's becoming very more powerful and more sadistic and dictatorly throughout you know each mission she comes back from, you know, and progress reports of her fellow teammates, you know, reporting back to HQ and telling them that, you know, yeah, our lieutenant's going kind of loopy here. She's not following orders. She wants to just keep this war going, even though the citizens and the country have figured out, you know, enough's enough. We already got pretty much the opposite sides, the opposite opposing teams wiped out, and they're now, you know, have signed the Declaration of Peace Treaty, and they understand that those certain countries that were, you know, controlled are now part of the new order. But Tanya doesn't want any part of that. She just wants to keep the war going, and it's making the generals kind of weary. So, but I don't know if there's a movie to this. I might have to look into it. If there is a movie to this, I will definitely watch it, and I will definitely come back to you guys and talk about that. Hopefully that movie correlates with the same timeline of the series, or it's a whole new storyline. Now, I do believe that there is the novel depiction of this series on in book form, and I haven't been able to come across it yet in my findings. But if I do, I would definitely have to put it in my library of anime book form. So yeah, but like always, I am very happy and I'm very excited to watch this again and to come back to here and to talk to you guys about anime and my fascination and my love with it and my thoughts about it. Anime is a great outlet for me, and it's a boost of positivity and happiness that I like to spread to everyone out there watching. and to, you know, build the community, because there's a big, huge community within the anime organization, or the anime world. So I'm happy to be a part of that organization. So as always, thank you so much for watching my videos. Couldn't ask for anything else. I mean, it means a lot, so thank you. But like I said, this is Anime Corner, so we're here to talk about anime, my thoughts about anime, and anime related type of material. So you know where to find me. So until then, until the next Anime Corner series episode, I will see you soon. So you know where to find me. Sagori, signing out. Bye.